Hi guys, welcome to Office Blokes React. I'm Office Bloke Dave.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
I'm Office Bloke Daz.
Collectively, we are the Office Blokes.
Yep.
3 words. Everyone loves saying the Office Blokes.
Yeah.
I didn't know where I was going with that. I was just winging it. I don't know if you could tell on that.
I thought you had something planned actually.
Absolutely nothing. I never do. It's come to our attention though. It's still come to our attention that loads of you are not subscribed to our little channel. So do us a favour. Just pop down there if you're not subscribed already. Do a little subscribe for us, notifications and all that good stuff.
Mike's coming to see you.
Yeah, Mike will come and get you, and it will be in the wee hours of the morning. We will be wearing a balaclava.
Yeah, that creaking floorboard, you're thinking, it always happens, it won't be Mike coming through.
£1.50. What? It was a creaky floorboard saying £1.50.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. Right then, 11 words Americans love asking Brits to say. There's a couple of words when we get demonetised if we say that sound better in an English accent.
There used to be a guy in the pub where I used to go to in New Jersey, and whenever he see me, just used to go, Winnebago!
Wow.
I think that was the only thing he could pronounce in English.
I'm not sure I've ever said Winnebago. It's not really in the
Why would you?
day-to-day chat,
Just as soon as I walked in, he used to go, Winnebago!
What's it going to be like? All the stereotypes, like tea and crumpets.
Aluminium.
No, I think that's too contentious. Isn't it? Tomato.
Yeah. Potato.
No, not potato.
£1.50.
Well, let's get into it. 11 words Americans love asking Brits to say. Let's do it.
Interesting.
Music.
Nice.
Well, to be fair, that is what you get for interbreeding a dog with a cat. So, oh, hello. This is Lawrence Brown with Lost in the Pond.
It's our guy, isn't it? Without the glasses.
Without the glasses, looking a little bit fresh-faced.
His channel, Lost in the Pond.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Today, on this video, I'm going to be discussing some of those words that Americans so often get us Brits to say quite a lot. Now, just to be clear, before I go ahead, this is not a video about exclusively British words, but rather words that both Brits and Americans use, but that Americans somehow derive a great deal of humour from when they hear people like me, with my accent, saying them. Basically, and any Brit that is watching this that has interacted with an American at any point in time will know this to be true. Americans very, very often like to say something along the lines of, I wish I could just stick you in the corner and listen to you speak, which is not at all offensive. Now, the first word up here is squirrel, weirdly enough, and this suggestion comes from Stacey in Salt Spring Island, Canada. The word squirrel, I thought nothing of this pronunciation. I just assumed everybody said it pretty much like
Squirrel.
We're going to have to say all these out.
Squirrel.
So a Canadian wrote in to tell a British guy what words Americans love hearing British guys say.
Yeah.
Squirrel is there.
You say it.
Squirrel.
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 I'm assuming they're
Squirrel.
more squirrel.
Squirrel.
Is that more like an American
I would
type
think
of-
so, yeah.
Yeah.
Squirrel.
We get pronounced the... yeah.
Squirrel. It's one of those words that loses all meaning the more you say it, isn't
Lovely
it?
bit of squirrel.
Squirrel stew.
I do now. Squirrel. Squirrel. And then I realised how Americans say it, and it's more like squirrel, which kind of sounds like you're pronouncing the word squirrel with a bunch of nuts in your mouth, which is what squirrels do, although they don't talk, so that wouldn't make any sense. So... Number 2 is mobile, which comes up a lot in conversations about the differences between British and American English, mainly because, of course, Americans use cell phones, British people use mobile phones, but that's not where the differences end. In fact, the main difference here in this particular word is the pronunciation of it, and I think that's why Americans are so ready to hear me say it, because I say mobile, as I said, but Americans, they like to say mobile when referring to things that move or to the phone itself. Unless you're down in Alabama where there's a city spelt exactly the same way, pronounced Mobile, and that is why this word makes my brain melt through my nose all the time. True story, a few days ago I put out a video of me in the bath, and one of the comments after that was, how do you, Lawrence, pronounce the word bath, even though they'd just seen the video in which I pronounced the word bath multiple times. As you can see, I say it as bath, not too dissimilar in fact to how most Americans...
He says it like a northerner, doesn't he? Bath.
He does. Because like I say, a lot of people in this country, especially from the south, Bath, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
B-A, like there's an R in there, B-A-R. It's
A lot of people from this area as well say Bath.
Oh yeah, B-A-F-F. Bath.
My kids said Bath for absolutely
Did
ages.
you give him a lug warmer?
I did, yeah. Yeah.
Bush. You're not from the south.
Peppa Pig syndrome.
Yeah.
So you're an American, not American, from London. If you're Cockney, that's more like B-A-R-F, isn't it? Like Bath.
Bath.
Probably more like the speed of pronunciation down there, isn't it? So,
Bath.
but it should
The correct way is Bath.
B-A-T-H, shouldn't it?
The correct way is Bath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit what anyone says.
I don't know what a bath is. I don't even have a bathroom, so
You never had a bath.
No, yeah.
I've never had a bath.
He has one every Sunday, whether he needs one or not.
Would say it. I think they're expecting me to extend the A like a lot of people in the south do, but I'm from the north and we do things differently in the north. You need to learn that, perhaps, if you care to. And so, I watching the look of disappointment on the face of the odd American, sometimes very odd American.
He's got a very posh voice for someone from the north, hasn't he?
I
He
can't
has a
picture
bit,
his,
isn't he?
I can't
Yeah.
position his accent.
He talks like a southerner, apart from words like Bath.
Yeah.
And when he said I'm from the north, you don't know where I think he might be from.
Stoke.
Stoke.
Stroke.
That's not the north.
Sort of, that's more like
It's not really, is
just
it?
above the Midlands, that isn't it? I mean, don't class it with the north.
It's like the It's
The
like
cut-off point.
It's like they are.
It's like the North's bottom, isn't it?
The North's ring piece.
Is what I was going to say. Yeah.
As they ask me to pronounce this is heartbreaking in many ways. I don't say Bath, I say Bath. But I imagine to all the sort of southern British people that get that question, it probably brings an ounce of glee to the American that hears it. So keep doing it. Keep doing it. Speaking of bath, you can't really have a bath without water, unless you're my cats. They do that all the time. And as you heard just there, I pronounce it, of course, water, just like most British people. As I pointed out in my last video, the word water and my pronunciation of it can cause a lot of confusion, actually, particularly for waiters that are serving me, when they'll ask me, what do you want for drink? And I'll say, water. What? Water. What? Water. What? Water.
Oh, that's like
Would you like lemon or
butter,
lime
isn't it?
with that, sir? But it's the more discerning Americans among you that stop me in the street if you recognise me. Still, nobody does. And you get me to say that very word until I literally cry all of the water out of my body. Thankfully, I don't drive, so I don't have to deal with this word all that often, and I don't own my own house, so I don't have an attached garage, as I would say. But you know what? Between you and me, this is actually one of those words that I think actually sounds a little less elegant when the British say it. Garage. I'm going to park the car in the garage. Americans do what Southerners in England do with the word bath. Bath. They extend the A. Garage. It's a mouthful, though, the way they say, isn't it? Because it's like, I'm going to park the car in the garage. Then I'm going to lift up the boot and the bonnet, and I'm going to check the windscreen to make sure that the indicator is working correctly. None of that made sense, but I just wanted to sort of convey what it would sound like if an American started talking about car stuff in British terminology. Ah, the classic tomato, tomato. You say tomato, I say tomato. Well, it's true, actually, yes. I do say tomato. Funny story, I was in Subway once, and I was ordering a sandwich, which is generally what you do in Subway. I think that the sandwich maker had worked out that I was English very early on in the sandwich making process. Probably actually before I even got to the cheese.
Had a bowler hat on. Carrying an umbrella. Black suit.
Monocle.
Big bear skin.
But we got further down the line, and apparently the cogs were turning in her head. She knew. She was waiting. She was waiting for the moment that I got to tomato to hear me say it that way. But here's a bit of a twist. I'd been burned so many times on that word here with Americans that I'd actually reverted to saying tomato, kind of like how with water I had to, I did that with tomato as well. So when it came time to tell her to put the tomato on my sandwich, I disappointed the crap out of her by saying tomato.
With that face as well.
To be fair,
disappointed.
I feel a little let down that he did that as well.
Absolutely.
I think he's a traitor.
I wouldn't have it on.
Just
Just swerve it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
yeah, one of those round red things.
Yeah.
Just
I want tomato or nothing else. That's it.
I don't like
Chicken and tomato.
Exactly. Chicken and tomato would be nice. Yeah, lovely.
It's groundbreaking, that, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, I've read that. It's a bit extreme and a bit sort of, have tomato on it as well.
She tried to charge me extra. Of course, there's so much more to that song, Tomato, Tomato. There's the second part where it says, you say potato, I say potato. I don't say potato. Who
Nobody
the hell
does.
says
No one does,
potato? If I don't think anybody in the world says potato, except maybe a kid trying to learn how to say it. Even they wouldn't. That's too complex. That's stupid. Whoever wrote that song needs to really think about their linguistic choices in life. Vitamin is great.
He sounds like David Mitchell, doesn't he?
A little bit.
He has he
does
has got
a
the
little
twang
bit
of it.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to place where he's from, but it's just...
He's just like a well-spoken northerner, though, isn't
Yeah.
he? He's not like...
It's going to be one of them where
he's
he's
hard
from...
to pinpoint.
He's going to be from Leeds, isn't he, or
Lincoln.
somewhere. Just really...
It's not really. It's not really the north.
He's just pretending to be a northerner.
Oh, if he watches
I'm
this,
going for
mate,
Stoke.
Stirk.
Yeah, I'm definitely going Stoke.
I think he's going to be from somewhere like Leeds. I'm going to say Leeds.
Yorkshire.
I mean,
Be interesting to find out.
what do you reckon, Mike?
What do I think? I think he could be from like Manchester or something.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Yes, it doesn't seem like he's got a Yorkshire twang to me
No.
at all.
He's not got a northern
But
twang.
he seems like maybe
Yeah.
like a Cheshire type of accent, where it's
The-
not
the
much
other-
of an accent.
My other wild card guess would be Blackpool.
Yeah, I get that.
No wonder he moved to
I can see
America.
Stoke and Blackpool.
This is another one where there's like a couple of differences in there. Firstly, of course, there is the fact that I pronounce the T and most of you guys don't. You guys meaning Americans. I don't mean to generalize you, but I do. But the biggest difference here, of course, is how we pronounce the first I in the word. So as you heard right there, I would say which sounds like an embarrassing sex noise, whereas Americans would say I. They're obsessed with I, it sounds like. I. And sticking with food-related stuff is the word herb. And as you heard just there, I pronounced it with an H at the beginning, because there's an H there. That's probably something you should do. Although, to be fair, this is something that a lot of Americans may not know about us Brits. We often pronounce the word H as H. We put an H on the word H, which there isn't one actually, weirdly enough. This is getting all confusing, but it's herb. Herb. Although we don't pronounce the R in herb, us Brits, either. Unless you're from the West Country. You might then. And you might drop the H. It was a nice herb that I put on my, I don't know, toast. Why would you
Pasty.
put herbs on toast? What am I? Next up, right on schedule, is the word schedule. Now, I am often goaded into saying this word for Americans. It's quite embarrassing, because not only do they giggle, but they tell me that I'm incorrect, and then I can't really rebut them on that. Because if you look at the word historically, it actually originates from Greek, and typically speaking, a lot of Greek loanwords that begin with SCH, like the word school, are pronounced sk. Schedule in this case, whereas it's words like schmaltz that came from German that get that kind of sh sound. So really, I think Americans, I'll give you this one, you win, but don't get used to it. Remember, you may have won the War of Independence, but we re-invaded you with the Beatles and Harry Potter and David Beckham and everything cool from England. Me, right?
Yeah. I say schedule.
I say schedule.
Yeah, schedule. Yeah.
Have you seen that Sean Locke bit from 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown? And he goes, is it schedule or schedule? And then everyone starts debating it, and they go, what do you think, Sean? And he goes, I don't know, I don't give a shit.
Fair enough. I think he's right. I do it because of the way school's pronounced. So same letters, so that's the way it's just
always
been brought up
pronounced
to
as
pronounce
schedule.
it.
Yeah, I've never considered it really, just schedule.
Yeah. Not wrong up. I think he's right.
And finally, this word probably sums up this little fella, who I love so much, is the word brilliant. I don't know why it is, but Americans really like to hear me say brilliant. When I was working as a supervisor once here in America for a company, I was presiding over hundreds of workers, and I often said that phrase if they, did a good job. I'm like, oh, that's brilliant. And they would giggle, and then they would come back to me the next day and ask me to say it again and again until we got no work done. It was the most unproductive time of my life. Where you going, Kat? Oh, okay. Brilliant. But Americans don't really sort of say it any differently, really. I mean, I suppose sometimes they might not pronounce the T at the end. I think they just like the context in which I say it. I have heard Americans start to say it in that context, that something is amazingly good, that it's brilliant. But more often than not, I think Americans use it to mean that someone is brilliant, as in they're quite smart, a brilliance about them intellectually. But what I would advise right now, if you're watching this video, even if you just think my cat is cute and nothing else is really grabbing you, share this video right now with the words, "This is brilliant." This is brilliant. Just so that I can get a lot of views on this one. So that's it for today's episode of Lost in the Pond. Remember, you can subscribe.
Brilliant.
Nice one.
Brilliant. In milk, brilliant.
I can't place Americans using the word brilliant.
No,
and I'm
not a
basing
lot,
that
no.
off
They use more
TV
awesome.
and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's their brilliant, I think, isn't it? Awesome. They use that quite a lot, I guess.
The one word someone asked me, I was talking to someone else, and I was asking him if he played badminton.
Yeah.
And some girl was sat in the office where I was talking to someone, and she went, "What did you just say?" And I said, "Badminton." He plays badminton. She went, "That's not how you say it." I went, "Pretty sure it is." Yeah.
badminton.
I'll spell it out for you if you want.
So I said, "How would you say it?" She went, "Badn." It was like, just like a mumble. I was like, "Okay."
I'm trying to find out where this guy's from. That's why I'm being rude and I'm on
Stoke.
my phone.
I think he's from
right.
Stoke.
Yeah.
Stoke.
It is across the pond, isn't it?
No, lost in the pond.
Lost in the pond,
Lost
yeah,
in
I
the
said,
pond.
yeah. That's
That's
right.
the one. So it's
Yeah,
all
some of those are
sorts.
pretty sort of, you'd expect, wouldn't you, like the tomato, that's quite different, aren't they? And
But I don't recall anyone actually coming up to me and saying to me, "Say this."
really, what, in all your time next? Yeah, a long time, weren't you?
Yeah, 12 years.
Right.
Long time, but it's someone to come up. I don't recall anyone coming up and saying, "Say this."
Yeah.
People used to say things to me. Like I said, that guy used to say, like, "Winnebago."
Yeah.
He used to go, "Winnebago." And then I think that's the only thing, like I said, he could probably pronounce it in an English accent.
So he's quite pleased with himself with that one, was he? Yeah.
Grimsby.
Grimsby.
That's
Really?
worse than Stoke.
It's not called Grimsby for nothing.
yeah, Grim and Grimsby. Yeah.
Wow.
There's a show. What's it? Did a
Fair
show
enough.
on it, didn't they? Sacha Baron Cohen.
On Grimsby?
Sacha-
The Brothers Grimsby, was it called?
No, it was
a
called, I think
movie
it was
he
just
did.
called Grimsby.
Right.
Wasn't it? Something like that.
Where he's a football hooligan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it.
And his brother was like a James Bond type style guy,
Yeah.
wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I watched half of it and just,
Oh, it was funny.
I couldn't do it.
You don't get
it
it
was
now.
funny. Yeah.
No.
I can't
But it
remember
was-
that one at all, but
It's it just highlighted the sunny side of Grimsby.
oh, bet it did.
It's a dump.
But,
Yeah, yeah,
It's
big
bad.
time.
Yeah. Anyway,
David,
yeah,
it was
some
good video,
decent words there. If you've got a word you want us to say, bye. Let us know. Don't forget, like and subscribe as well, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers, guys.